Hey guys, and today we'll be learning about just the basics of multiplication, and yeah, let's get into it. Hey guys, and today we'll be studying multiplication, and please go watch my division video before you watch the rest of this. Don't watch the whole thing, just watch it until you actually get an understanding, a simple understanding of what division is. Once I get into the problems, you probably would already know, and don't go too far into the standard algorithm. Just get the basic understanding. You don't even have to go into standard algorithm, and if you watch the division video, you'll know what I mean. So yeah, I'll just give you a pause right here, go watch it and come back right now. Okay, so I assume that you've went and watched it, and now we can get into what multiplication is. Multiplication, so if you remember in the division video, I said that division is just splitting a big number into smaller groups, not necessarily a big number, but just a number into smaller groups. So like if I took the example of 20 and I said divided by 5, I would get 4. If you know what division is, you know that 20 divided by 5 is 4. And so multiplication is basically the opposite of that. You take one small group like 4. See, we split a big group into 5 more smaller groups, and each of those groups had 4 in them. So we take one of those smaller groups, we multiply it. So multiplication, we multiply, that's the multiplication sign, this little x right here, and then we put a 5, and then we would write our answer, which is going to be 20 in this case. And a good way to think about it is that you take one small group, you smoosh 5 of them together, and you count how many are in there. So if I have 5 circles, so I have one small group with 4 circles in it, and then I make 5 of those. Just meet you when I'm done with that. Okay, so I'm done with that. Okay, so I took one group of 4 right here, and I made 5 of them, and then I counted how many are in this, and I drew a big circle around them and counted how many there are, and that would be your answer for a multiplication problem. So as you can see, multiplication is basically just the opposite of division. Division is where you take a bigger number, divide it into smaller groups, how many ever you want, and then you count how much is in them. Here it's different. You take one of the smaller groups, count how many are in there, write it down, and then you take 5 of those groups, smush it together, and then you get your answer. So I drew a big circle, so it's basically just smushing it together, and I'll just count how many is in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and then we have 17, 18, 19, 20. So as you can see, this and this are the exact same thing. So we have 20 as our answer here, 20 as our answer here, and right here is just one way you could do it. There's many other ways. So there is something called the standard algorithm, which normally people use for bigger multiplication problems. Usually if they want to do small multiplication problems like this one right here, they will just picture this and do this in their head. So like they'll think, okay, I have one group in my head, and then I'm making 5 of those. Okay, so let's count them all up in my head. Okay, I have 20. That's what they'll do. And when they're dealing with big numbers, so big that they can't even do it in their mind, so like maybe like 13 times 15, no, 14 times 15, then they would use something called the standard algorithm. And I'll just erase all this and show you. Ba-boing! Okay, so I'm done erasing all that, and now I'll show you what this standard algorithm is that I was talking about earlier. So I have my standard algorithm, and the way you would write it is, we are taking 14 times 15 as our example, right? So we would write 14, the 14, and then you put an X, like right diagonal bottom to it, and then you would write 15 right next to that X, draw a line under it, and there you go. That's your standard algorithm setup. So, and you would write whatever two numbers you're multiplying there. So let's get into the process. So what you would do is you would take this 5 and you would multiply it by 4. So essentially we're just splitting this up into smaller multiplication. So we have 5 times 4. I don't know, but if you do it anyway, I'll just discuss it with you. So actually we did this in the beginning, so we already know that is going to be equal to 20. Instead of writing 20 here, we just write the number that is in the units place, or the ones place. So the ones place is just the number, the first number or the last number, depending on how you look at it. It's the first or last first number of a number. So if I had 281, this 1 right here, this would be my unit, this would be the units place right here. So that's what it is. And so we write the number in the units place right under there, that's 0, and then we take that 2 that was in the tens place and we put it up there. Anyway, the tens place, if you took 281 again, the tens place would be right there. That 8 would be in the tens place, so that's what you would, that is the tens place. Okay, so now we would write 5. So we wrote the 2 up there, we're done with that. And now we would multiply 5 times 1. So this 5 times that 1. And anything multiplied by 1 is just going to be itself. So if I have 5 times 1, I'm going to get 5. If I have 1000 times 1, I'm still going to get 1000, because anything times 1 is just going to be itself. So 5 times 1 is just going to be 5. And there you have it, we have 50. Oh no, wait, that's completely wrong. I'm so sorry. So we would take this number, we multiplied 1 by 5, right? So we took 5. Then we would add this 2 up here that we put up here. So you'd add that 2 to 5 and we would get 7. So 5, we'd multiply 1 times 5, which is going to be 5, and then you would add 2, which you would add whatever number you had up here, and then you get like some number, and you would write down here. And as you can see, we have 70 right here. But that's not our total answer, not at all. We still have to remember this 1 right here. So you might just think, okay, we multiply 1 times 4 and then 1 times 1, and that's just 14, right? But no, that is not the case. As you can see, this 1 is in the tens place, so that means it has a value of 10. If you don't know place value, I will be doing a video in the future on that. So this thing's value is 10. This 1's value is 10. So instead of just writing 1 times 4, we would write 10 times 4, right? So we just put a 0 here. Once we move to the tens place, we do a 0, and then once we move to the hundreds place, we put 2 zeros, because there is, like, let's say instead of this multiplication sign, we had a 2 right here. Once we started multiplying with this 2, we'd put 2 zeros down here. Okay? we put 2 zeros instead of 1. And then if we had like a 3 over here, we'd put once we got to multiplying on over here, we just put 3 zeros and then multiply. And then if we had like a 5 right here, we would say, okay, 4 zeros down here, and then we would multiply. So that's what we would be doing if we had more digits there. And I think you get the idea right now. So we'd put a 0 down there, and then we would just multiply as normal. So 1 times 4 is 4, and then 1 times 1 is 1, and there you go. We have 70 and 140, and you might be wondering, okay, what are we going to do with these numbers? And we are going to add them. So 0 plus 0, 0, 7 plus 4, 11, we put the 1, we carry the 1, and then 1 plus 1 is 2, and our answer is 210. So 14 times 15 is 210, and that's really all you need to know about multiplication. If you want to see more examples, leave a like, and tell me in the comments if you want to see more examples of multiplying bigger numbers. And hey guys, hope you liked the video. Today we studied multiplication, and I just explained everything to record this video. Any video ideas, please leave them in the comments. Like, subscribe, share this video with your friends, and peace.